Now you're listening to Money FM 89.3. I'm Chua Tian Tian with your market view. Now guess what we are talking about on a Friday? We're going to be talking all about your cup of coffee or tea. Now traditionally, coffee is hand brewed by coffee brewers or baristas, but some enterprising firms are coming out with machines that can do the job. Now they say this can standardize the taste of the coffee you drink, reduce the need for food courts, restaurants, and cafes to train their staff to brew coffee. Now, investors seems to be liking this idea. Earlier, a company called Crown Digital, behind the robot barista Ella, has received investments from transport operators to come up with robot barista stations at railway stops, bringing its valuation to over $35 million. Now, and if you love Nanyang coffee, another company called Hawkermatic is now supplying over 50 restaurants, coffee shops, and food courts with a machine that can produce customized Kopi and Teh in just seconds. Question is, how much money is behind these companies really, and how do industry players assess the market? For more, I speak to Chua Taek Hyung, director of Hawkermatic. He joins us on the show. Hi, Taek Hyung.
Hi, Tian Tian. Good Friday to you and the listeners. Great to be here on Money FM, and thanks for having me.
Great to have you on our show as always. So, Taek Hyung, get us started. Tell us more about Hawkermatic. What is your value proposition? Who are your customers?
Right. Hawkermatic started as the world's first fully automatic high-speed Nanyang coffee brewer and dispenser, and we power F&B and cafe owners, drinks, and revenues since 2 years ago. We are patent pending, and today our customers serve over 50,000 cups of Nanyang coffee daily, and that adds up to over 10 million cups yearly. Our customers span from the independent hawker drink stall operators to food courts, cafes, and F&B restaurants.
So, tell us a little bit more. Is this a robot barista? Is this a coffee machine? What kind of solution are you providing here?
It is a fully automatic machine. So essentially, it is made up of a series of brewing steps, which replicates the hand pulling actions. There is a dispensing warming tank, and then there's a tao chu part of the machine, which actually mixes in all combinations. We even serve five sweetness levels as well as four thickness levels for your drinks.
Right, sounds good. So it's all of your customized coffee, teh, all kosong, kopi si kosong, all of that, right?
Yes.
Okay, Taek Yong, we mentioned this briefly in our introduction, but best to hear it from you. How many restaurants and food courts do you supply to, and if you could share some names with us?
Right. We have over 70 island-wide right now, including, for example, five in Changi Airport, three in the Orchard Road. There are several across NUS, CBD, like Raffles Place, as well as Tanjong Pagar. However, names, unfortunately, due to business confidentiality reasons, I won't be able to share their names on air.
Right, so airport, Tanjong Pagar, I think those are good enough. Taek Hyung, now let's talk about the money. How much do your machine cost? How many orders have been placed? What are your cash flow projections for next, say, 1 or 2 years?
Right. Tian Tian. Our customers can either choose to lease the Hawkermatic machine from $538 per month, depending on the system, or they can buy and optionally apply for the various grants offered by the various government agencies today. As for the number of orders, we have more than double the current deployments in our pipeline. With regards to the cash flow projections for the next 2 years, I find that it's a delicate balance to expand the team in order to support this business pipeline that is readily available for us to take in sooner, and versus managing the cash flow as we are an organic growth company, save for only the angel round of funding before the pandemic circuit breaker happened. And hence, I've been on the road talking with several interested potential investors as well.
Right. So, Taek Yong, since you're talking about investor base and all of that, I also understand, as you just spoke, you're in the midst of raising further funds for the company. Pardon me for asking this, but have the recent rate hikes posed any challenges in terms of fundraising for startups like Hawkermatic? How have investor sentiments sort of changed?
Right. So this is a very good question. So I think the recent rate hikes are actually aimed to curb inflation. And inflation actually doesn't hurt us directly as we don't tap on the debt financing markets directly as a company here in Hawkermatic. So we are internally funded at the moment and looking to raise around up to $2 million for the company. And the goal is actually to accelerate our profitable growth trajectory and expand into the neighboring countries. So coming back to the rate hikes, I think the rate hikes are meant to curb rising inflation, which actually in turn promotes a wallet tightening behavior in end consumers like ourselves. And actually, this is a boon for and ironically improves the sales of the humble Kopi and Teh. Some of our outlets actually regular touch and cross 1,000 cups daily, and many of the operators who use our machine average well over 500 cups per day.
Right. So, which means inflation hasn't dampened investor sentiment. If any, it actually improves your business projections going forward and your numbers. Yeah. So, inflation protected. Tae Kyung, before this interview, you told me that there is a huge opportunity in the coffee tech industry. And true enough, companies like Crown Jewel is valued at $35 million. Other companies like Morning has raised $5 million US in a Series A round in June this year. Question is, why is there a big or huge opportunity, or rather, what opportunities do you see in the industry?
Right, Tian Tian. I think automation and tech opportunities in this B2B to C food tech like ours actually allows for newer technologies like what you mentioned, like Internet of Things, fintech, AI, artificial intelligence, and even direct to consumer partnership opportunities for us. So there are definitely several collaboration opportunities across the coffee and tea sector and space, and where we think that the sum of parts can potentially become greater than the whole. So we are very open to collaborate and work across different technologies in this space as well.
Right, and let's talk about proposition or positioning strategy. Taking on companies like Crown Jewel, they are positioning themselves as unmanned robot barista cafes, right? Cafe strategy. Other companies, Morning is positioning itself as a company that sells Internet of Things enabled coffee machines, precise brewing features for home use. What is your market positioning strategy right now? Do you see your company as a Kopi machine supplier in the future also?
I would say that we are not just a copy machine supplier, but we are actually a business enabler and a key revenue generator for our customers. From this positioning, we would like to continue to extend our sales coverage across the 1,000s and more of B2Bs, where we have only started scratching the surface of the local market at only about 1% market penetration. We will actually continue to do further R&D to innovate our product and offering to our customers while monitoring all these new technologies further to collaborate and integrate with them when a clear opportunity arises.
So one percentage market penetration, you're talking about Singapore, yeah? And
That's
also
right.
the second question that I have is when you talk about working with your current ecosystem of firms under your portfolio, or rather the clients that you're working with for further opportunities, what do you mean by that?
Actually, I mean more in terms of working with the other tech companies out there, as well as working with the other coffee companies out there to collaborate with them. So I think there are a lot of opportunities that we can actually tap on each other's expertise.
So TH, maybe help us understand what kind of opportunities are you looking at? Are you looking at maybe making Kopi machines for home use, or are you looking at opening up unmanned cafes, unmanned Kopi cafes or stations or dispensers? What kind of opportunities are you looking at to help us understand?
Sure. I think all these are at the right time, right place, they will present themselves. Of course, some of these opportunities are already quite clearly out there, which is why the investors are backing some of the other IoT technologies, as well as unmanned cafes. For us, I think we are still predominantly the Asian coffee, and then we are doing very well in what we do, and we help our customers deliver that few hundred cups to 1,000 cups per day. So we will continue to do that, and I think this forms a very nice base to add the different technologies out there that you have just mentioned. It's just that we prefer to continue to grow from 1% market share penetration to further, and then explore these technologies at a later stage.
Right, always get the basics done and sorted out. Great strategy over here. Tae Kyung, as a layperson, I would assume that Kopi and Teh fairly unique to Southeast Asia, and people out of the region will be more accustomed to perhaps espresso coffee or coffee made with Arabica beans. Are you eyeing the Southeast Asian market for now, or are you looking beyond that? Which markets are you looking at?
Right, Tian Tian. I think the inspiration always has to be how our chili crab and curry puffs made its way around the globe. And other
Right.
Southeast Asian countries' coffee have also successfully
Hmm.
done so. I mean, just give a few examples. For example, like it's Vietnam is famous for their coffee as well. There's Kopi Luwak, Thai iced milk
Right.
tea. Hong Kong has Siwa Nai Cha, and Indonesia has their Teh Boto, etc. So I think as for our Hawkermatic machines, we are precision engineered for the extraction of coffee via the steep, agitate, soak methods, which is compatible with more than just the local and regional Kopi and Teh and Yuan Yang. So I see a very bright future within Asia and as well as beyond.
Right, very interesting over here. You're getting me very hungry. And well, so speaking of that, how different would your market penetration strategies be for markets within Southeast Asia and markets out of Southeast Asia?
Right, very good question.
Different coffee, different drinks?
Every market is unique, Tian Tian. I think we would have to
Hmm.
research and explore to work with the local business partners and then continue to support and work hand in hand with our current food and beverage operator partners. Some of them actually also look to globalize and scale into these countries. So these will create new opportunities in sustainable markets for our Asian coffee and tea.
Mm. So, which are the markets that you're proposing to go to in the very near term, say next year or so? Have you been maybe trying to secure clients in those markets already?
Right. Definitely Malaysia. We have been invited there more than a couple of times, and we are actively exploring Malaysian market.
Different is the Malaysian market from the Singapore market? I will be very curious given that I would assume that the coffee shop landscape is still there, but it'll probably be a little bit different, isn't it?
Oh yes, definitely. I think each like each market is unique, and then of course there's a local culture acceptance as well as currency fluctuations as well. So bearing all these in mind, we have to come up with the correct approach and strategy for that market. So right now we are in talks with several partners, and then we are seeing how to approach Malaysia and enter it in a very near future.
Right. Just pardon me, Tae Hyung, I'm just curious to find out the coffee culture in Malaysia, when you're talking about making this machine, right, this coffee machine, and then supplying it to customers in Malaysia, are you looking at coffee shops or are you looking at restaurants and cafes? Because I would assume that the coffee shops in Malaysia will be very different from the coffee shops here in Singapore, less of chain coffee shops, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think in Malaysia, and everybody knows that like our Sing dollar is very strong, and ringgit is about 3.22 thereabout. So there are definitely challenges in if you are looking at a pure cost perspective. However, I think as we go into a new country, we also will be able to assemble in those countries, and then we also will be able to bring our cost of the goods correspondingly down. So we might be able to adapt and research and develop new parts or technologies that could suit that market. Secondly, as Malaysia goes, there's also a very high propensity to spend on in terms of the food and beverage sector. So
Right.
if you were to drink at a kopi stall in Malaysia, you will find that the drink is typically comparable price to our local market as well.
Ah, okay. And you're talking about coffee shop, the kopitiam, or are you talking about restaurants or cafes?
Even the kopitiams are charging quite a high amount, I think, in my opinion, versus what they pull in as an average salary there for their food and beverage. Yeah, maybe my Malaysian friends will always complain to me that their prices there are really very high.
Right. So I assume you're talking about the big cities, KL, Penang, and all that, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And finally, Tae Kyung, pardon the pun as well. Anything brewing for Hawkermatic this year that you think the audience should know?
Yes, definitely. We are piloting our very own Kopimatic certification course for members of the public who wish to be trained to the equivalent of a Kopimatic certified operator. So through this upskilling, we hope to upskill members of the public with this half-day course. This is in the hope that we train batches of people and optionally refer them to our customers to provide them employment and value add for our customer operators down the road. So we also hope that some new coffee cafe operators will even want to sign up for this Kopimatic certification course. And lastly, if you're in the investment space and looking for something scalable, high growth, future tech play, definitely connect with us at hello at hawkermatic.com. And yeah, so I'll look forward to hearing from them.
Okay, one quick question. I think we
Mm.
missed this earlier. How fast could your machine make coffee? Let's say, how many cups can you make in a minute? And to what extent does it reduce the cost for training, let's say, your typical Kopi brewers?
Right. So I would say that we can produce about 300 cups an hour with our machine. So that is more than enough and sufficient for most of the, in fact, all of the outlets that we actually serve today. So they can actually use our machine in peak periods and still be comfortably serving kopi and teh, yuen yang, Milo, etc. from our machine. For the well, the second part of the question is with regards
Training,
to
yeah.
training. We actually feel that the training process is actually cut down by a significant amount of time with our Hawkermatic certification course. We also have professionally filmed videos to guide users how to use it. And with our hand holding, actually, we have found that some users could actually pick up how to use our machine just by watching the videos. So it is actually a very a significant cost reduction for many of our cafe operators out there.
And it won't sort of replace, some people are concerned about the replacement of workers. So no more workers, no more Kopi uncle. What do you think about that? Because a lot of Kopi uncles, I believe they hurt their wrist on making coffee, isn't it?
Yep, the pooling of tea causes a repetitive stress injury. So a lot of our users, when they actually initially hear about our machine, they might be initially somewhat resistant, thinking mistakenly that they will lose their job. But after they use our machine, they actually feel that, wow, I actually have no longer the painful shoulder. And they can actually be redeployed into different tasks as well. And then as for the operator, what they can do is that they can run double shifts. Now a cashier or a worker who previously did not know anything about making kopi and teh that we like and accept can now learn to use and operate our machine and serve very delicious drinks as well. So the coffee operator can actually run for 24 by 7, they can run for double shifts, and you can actually get your hot drinks at night, which is not a common sight in many coffee shops today, if they employ workers to do so.
Yes, I remember a lot of kopitiam. They would just close off all their kopi and they by 8, 9 p.m. and you're just left with, I guess, the chocolatey drink at the end of the day. So I have been to some of the restaurants that use your machine and they are open 24 hours. You can still drink kopi at night. Definitely something very good if you're burning the midnight oil. Like, thanks very much, Taek Kyung. That was Chua Taek Kyung, director of Hawkermatic, joining us on the line.
Money FM 89.3.